Hello there and welcome to Times Exclusive. My name is Elvis Howahowa. This is a program that takes a look at issues of national interest. And this week we're talking about the issue of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi that the India government is erecting at Generic Corner in Blantyre. My guest is Pemphero Mphande. This individual has obtained an injunction at the High Court in Blantyre stopping the construction or the erection of that statue. When we come back, we'll get to know him and to get to know more about what has given him the drive to embark on this fight. Remember that Times Exclusive is brought to you courtesy of Rainbow Paints.
Weather Shield, another brand from Rainbow Paints. This is Ultimate. An extreme high-performance acrylic smooth textured finishing with ultraviolet absorption and maximum flexibility properties for wall finishes. A built-in fungicide to resist molds. Simple to use, quick drying, water-resistant binding power, low dirt retention, and hides hairline cracks. Suitable for use on all exterior walls, be it plaster, concrete, or brickwork. Available in a wide range of colors in 5 and 20-liter containers. Contact us today in Blantyre 01841-813, 01841-871, Lilongwe 01755-901. Email info@rainbowpaints.biz. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind, part of the deal.
Pemphero Mphande, hello there and welcome to Times Exclusive.
Thank you so much, Elvis.
All right. First of all, who is Pemphero Mphande?
Well, Pemphero Mphande is a young Malawian who is passionate about the country, passionate about the idea that Malawi needs all of us that are concerned about the status quo to fight for the people in the villages who don't understand also the things that are happening in our country. And because of that, I'm also a young politician. I'm running for MP in Blantyre City South. And me running for MP is basically part of the same principle, or the passion, that if I can get into government, then I can lobby for better policies that target the masses on the ground, because we are at a point where our country is under crisis, economically, politically, and we need all of us that have got the passion to change things, to get in a position where we can make this impact. So what I would like to see is most of us that are talking to take up active leadership positions to make sure that we're making an impact in the best way, because most of the times we talk and then we never act. So in brief, that's Pemphero Mphande.
Have you always been interested in issues of public national importance?
Well, I've always been from a very young age. And I'll tell you something very interesting. You can look at me as someone else who is anti-government, anti-DPP, because I do not believe in the principles and values that they uphold. But when I was in secondary school, I was supporting DPP, in the first term of Professor Blantyre, because he really impressed me. He was fighting for the common man. He was doing what he promised he would do, and that first term was one of the best. So when I was at pre-secondary school, I remember we went around campaigning, and I believe that was one of the most fair elections we had when he won with almost 67%. And although I couldn't vote because I was young then, but I had done some campaign for him. So what I'm trying to say is I've always had this interest for the people. And for me, it comes from the idea that all of us must hold hands to say, today Malawi needs us. What are we going to do for Malawi?
Okay, fine. What do you do?
Well, I'm a medical professional by profession. I graduated from College of Medicine. I'm a medical laboratory scientist. But I'm not in the hospital because I founded my own non-government organization. It is called Farm for AIDS Counseling and Training. I'm the executive director. We are here in Blantyre and we're in Choa as well, where we're doing some of the things. So that is me. I'm also an entrepreneur because I own a company. I'm the CEO of an insurance company. So that's one of the things that I'm doing.
Fine. All right. Let's talk about the statue now.
Yes, please.
You've obtained an injunction at the High Court, restraining the erection of that statue at General Corner, just close to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital. Why are you against it?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It's not really me that has taken the injunction. It's all Malawians who are against the statue. When you look at the injunction, the claimants is Pemphero Mphande and Kaunda, and the two of us are part of a bigger group called the Mahatma Gandhi Statue Must Fall movement. So it's all of us in that movement, and it's all of us Malawians.
Excuse me.
As you recall, the government for the first time responded to social media calls when there is a press statement acknowledging that Malawians on social media were not happy about it. So it's a sign that it's Malawians who are not happy, but not me. So to answer your question, we took this injunction primarily for two reasons, and I would like to say them. Firstly, a statue is something that has got sentimental value. It's like when you go to your house and then you want to put a picture of me. It means that your family, if you've got a wife and your kids, all of you living in that house agree that I'm somebody else that deserves a picture in your house, and they've got reasons for that. It's why we've got perhaps the statue of Dr. Banda in Longwe, because we look at him as our hero, and we associate with him. It's just the people doing that for him. Now, the government of India is funding the conference center, and as part of that, they've offered a statue. Why are they offering it? They've got their own reasons, which we don't know. But from what we got from the government, it's because they believe that Mahatma Gandhi is a man who championed non-violence, fought against colonialism, and that somehow that impacted us. But is that true? Well, it is true that Mahatma Gandhi championed non-violence. It's in history. But did Mahatma Gandhi fight for Malawians that we would want to honor him with a statue in Malawi? The answer is no. And also, is Mahatma Gandhi a man of honor? The answer is no, because Mahatma Gandhi is on record as having used hate speech against black people. When he was in South Africa between 1894 and 1940 thereabout, he was in exile as a young man. He said some statements like calling black people Kafis, which is basically a slur word that you can even equate to Negro. It's from his own personal letters. It's there in history. And he called them savages and also things. And when he was fighting for India, he was actually lobbying that there should be 3 doors, one for Indians and one for white people and one for black people, because he didn't think that black people were equals to Indians. And this is a man that we want to honor here. I don't think this man has got a place in the history of Malawi. Look, we've got a country that we must protect, that we must honor. Some of us are being seen as people that want fame, but we don't want fame. That place at General Corner is public land for us as a people. Do we want to give it away to put a statue of a man who most people don't even know? If you go to the villages, people know who Mahatma Gandhi was. So that is a question which we must answer today. When we want to put a statue, why are we putting it there? Is everybody else happy? Because you as a Malawian, you've got a stake in it. Are you happy about it? I as a Malawian, have got a stake in it. Am I happy about it? So when everybody else is happy, then we are all happy. It's why we've got a parliament. A parliament is elected to represent us as a people. So something as big as a statue, because it is big, it's not small. I've heard people saying, no, it's a life-size statue. If it was a life-size statue, why is the government of India even on record saying we want to even fund to put it there? No, it's bigger than that. It's why India, in March, demolished a statue of Lenin, and they went on record to say there is no place for statues of foreigners in India. You see that? But they want to put a statue in Malawi. Would they accept our president Pemphero to go to India and say, no, we are very happy to find a statue of John Jirembo here? Will they accept it? They will not accept it because they understand the impact of monuments. So these are ideas of imperialism and neocolonialism that are being propagated by these governments that want to stamp on our sovereignty.
What's the second reason?
Well, I've thought of 2 reasons there. Okay. One, that Mahatma Gandhi has got no place in our history, and that Mahatma Gandhi was racist. So basically, I just combine them. But those are the two reasons.
There are reports making rounds that you're being funded by someone. Is that true?
Well, it's what I was telling you. You see, you need to understand the nature of propaganda. The government is not being run by people who are stupid. They're very smart people. They've done politics. Whenever somebody else is against the government, they'll call you frustrated. They'll call you somebody else who's getting money from somewhere else. They basically want everybody else to be submissive and not to fight. When you start fighting, they put you on the spotlight. They will say, oh, no, this guy is being funded. It's not true. We've got a WhatsApp group, and we've been raising funds. People have been contributing 1,000, and you'll be surprised how many Malawians have contributed to this. We made T-shirts, and the lawyer that we have hired, Naisim Sawyer, and he's a very good guy. He's doing pro bono for free. We are not paying him anything else. He's doing it for free. If anything else, at some point we've some money to offer his transport to come here. That's all. But he's doing it for free. He's passionate and he's a patriot. Now, propaganda always comes when you do something good, and it is something that we are prepared for.
No. Your social media page, your Facebook page, you correct me if I'm mistaken, 6,000 people.
Now almost 8,000.
Signed. Signed for this movement. The same thing. We are for this movement.
Yeah.
We are for this movement. Is that a fair representation of what Malawians are saying about that statue?
Well, there's a proportion of Malawians that are on Facebook, and when you want to look at public opinion, it needs to be represented. Basically, you sample. You look at that as a sample. We've got people on that page who are from the north, people who are from the south, and people who are from the central. So if all those people, 8,000, have come in, and we've done that within a few weeks, they have come out to like our page and support us. It's a sign that Malawians are really not happy about it. Okay. So yes, it's a very fair representation.
Okay, fine. Who has given you the authority to speak on behalf of Malawians? Because you seem to be speaking on behalf of Malawians. Who has given you that authority?
I'll tell you something. If I went on air and I said I'm not happy about the Statue of Mahatma Gandhi, and people said, no, stop, we're happy about it. Believe me, I would have stopped, because then people are happy. But I've gone on air, and you'll be surprised by the number of people that are supporting us. I get phone calls every day. I get messages every day of people supporting us. It means that it's Malawians who want it. And I told you that even the government acknowledges that people on social media are talking about it. Today, go to social media. People are saying, why this statue? Why this statue? So it's a sign that Malawians don't want it. What I did was basically to stand up and say, fine, we're not happy. For a long time, our voices are not being held. Time is changing now, and we've got to change. So I'm going to take up this burden on behalf of all Malawians that are not happy to do this. And I'm ready, and we are ready. And I know that Malawians are ready to go as far as we can. I'm very sure that we'll be successful. One way or another, we'll be successful. And the message that we're saying is, Malawi is not for sale. You cannot sell it for a loan, for a credit, for development aid. You cannot do that. Like I said, if foreign government wants to come to Malawi and fund developments, they should be on mutually agreeable terms, where they gain something, also gain something else. If you want to go to India and fund something else, they look out for the interest first. We should do the same thing. But if people want to impose upon us their monuments, their culture and whatnot, we will not accept it. Malawi is not for sale. It will not be sold, and we refuse to have Malawi sold.
You're watching Times Exclusive here on Times TV with me, Elvis Howahowa. This is a program that takes a look at issues of national importance, and today we're speaking to Pemphero Mphande. He is one of the individuals who has obtained an injunction against the erection of a Mahatma Gandhi statue at General Corner in Blantyre. Remember, this edition comes to you through sponsorship from Rainbow Paints.
Weather Shield, another brand from Rainbow Paints. This is Ultimate, an extreme high-performance acrylic smooth textured finishing with ultraviolet absorption and maximum flexibility properties for wall finishes. A built-in fungicide to resist molds. Simple to use, quick drying, water-resistant binding power, low dirt retention, and hides hairline cracks. Suitable for use on all exterior walls, be it plaster, concrete, or brickwork. Available in a wide range of colors in 5 and 20 liter containers. Contact us today in Blantyre 01841 813 01841 871, Lilongwe 01755 901. Email info@rainbowpaints.biz. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind, part of the deal.
But let's proceed with our conversation now, and let's take a look at your earlier argument against the statue. You said Mahatma Gandhi categorized, Mahatma Gandhi refused to categorize blacks with Indians in South Africa. He was fighting for the independence of South Africans. He used derogatory terms to describe or call co-Africans kafir. You were precise there. But that was done 150 years ago. Perhaps others would understand that, well, he was doing that in that particular context, in that time. Why hold it against him now, 150 years later?
You see, I'll tell you something. The government of Malawi wants to put a statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Malawi because of the same history that he did 150 years ago, meaning that to them history is important. So it is not wrong for us to use the same history, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The critical issue is hate speech is hate speech, whether you said it 10 years ago or a million ago, it still stands today. And it's forgivable if you say something else and you come back and you retract and you apologize. I think when I was doing that, I was a young person. I was 23 years old, I was 30 years old. Now that I've grown up, I've realized that my perception of black people have changed. I think there are people like us and we're equals. But Mahatma Gandhi, to his grave, when he died in 1948 or 1949, he had not retracted those words. That means he went to his grave still believing that black people are savages, black people are kafirs, and they're not equals to Indians. Now, when you go and put that statue at the general corner, you are telling Malawians that we are honoring a man who to his grave thought that you are not equals of Indians, and you're telling the Indians to look down upon us. Now, next time when you see Indians not respecting Malawians because we have honored their man who's looking down upon us. So history is important because we cannot honor a man who did nothing in history. They won't honor him because he did something in history, and that history is misrepresented. And we're saying against the same history, it should not be honored.
Okay, fine. The government of Malawi has justified this decision. It says, well, India is one of Malawi's bilateral partners. The Lukubula water project, tapping water from Mulanje Mountain to service people in Limbi, some parts of Limbi, and many other projects. The workers fared us. There was a time 3-5 years ago when water was a problem. The Indian government also came in to help out, etc. So there is need for this to happen. What do you say to such sentiments?
Oh, Elvis, I bring my picture. You want to borrow money from me? Okay, I want to borrow 20,000 from you. And I'm saying, look, if you want me to borrow 20,000, take my picture and put it in your house. You accept. Obviously, you don't accept. You'd rather go and look for money somewhere else. The issue is, how many governments, how many foreign institutions are funding Malawi? The UK, as of a few years ago, was contributing almost 40% of our budget. Did they ever come to Malawi to say, want you to put a statue of the Queen? The US, through USAID, PEPFAR, they are funding Malawi with millions of US dollars annually. Have they asked for something else in return? That is a critical issue. And we need to really think about that. Now, I've got no problem with us working with the development partners to develop Malawi. And these are some of the issues that Bingu addressed. You know, Bingu did a low deficit budget because he did our with donors. Donor aid is good if it is helping you move forward. But if it is taking you a step backwards, it's a big problem. Like I said, we've got a country to run, which is a sovereign state. We have got means on our own that we can raise money. Where we fall short, we can look for partners that also have got interest in helping us and to get something else. Then you can discuss something else. But if India is coming in with this aid and with preconditions, then they are not our friends. They are our enemies, and we must refuse them.
Former Secretary of State of the United States of America, Mr. Rex Tillerson, made an observation before he left office, under the Trump administration, that is. he said there are nations that Africa should be aware of. China is one of them. India, one of them. He said Africa should be very aware not to lose its sovereignty through issues to do with donations, etc., etc.
That's all I'm saying.
Do you share those sentiments? Do you think there are nations that are coming back to Africa and there is some sort of second scramble for Africa and there's certain second colonization of Africa?
It is true. It's why I'm talking of neocolonialism and imperialism. You see? Look, between India and Malawi, who is doing more for the other? I think Malawi is doing more for India than India is doing for us. The only problem is that we look at money as something very important. But money is only as good as what it can buy. What does money buy? Do you have what money can buy? Yes, it's why they're coming here. Come on, let's be serious. We have got thousands of Indians who are living in Malawi. And they're doing business here. They're making money here. If anything else, India should be thanking us for harboring their people. They cannot, that land is priceless. Their country is almost full. They cannot buy that land. Money cannot buy that land. That land is ours. We're doing something for them. Now, do we demand the same thing against them? But look, they know that our government, our officials, in a way, they are weak. I would say they are weak because they think money is the most important thing. We've got a big lobbying tool. We've got land. It is something very, very priceless. We can lobby against it, but look, they bring in 20 million US to us, for example, and we think we can say, fine, we're giving you land to put your statue there. No, we've got a stake here. So, yes, he was right. We must be aware of countries that have got special interests here in our country. Like I said, it is very possible for us to do business with other countries. And we are happy if India wants to come and find us, as long as there are no preconditions. As long as we gain something or they gain something else, then we are equal partners. Otherwise, they are bullying us. It's imperialism, it's neocolonialism, like what you said, the second scam of Africa. And they are really doing that. It's why they are funding these monuments. They said about in 8 countries they want to do the same thing. Look, India will not be stupid to waste money on a statue. It's because for them it's important. It's a mark of their spirit on Malawi. It's a way of having the influence here. And if we're not careful, we're being sold out bit by bit. One day we'll wake up and realize that when you go around Blantyre, most of this land is being owned by foreigners, by Indians. And that when someone like me finds has got enough money to invest, there's no land for me to do that. We need to protect that. It's very important. And not only that, but when money is being made by foreigners, part of that money should stay in our country. They should pay taxes. They should employ our people and pay them handsomely.
Are you saying Indians don't pay tax?
Well,
they evade tax. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want to make that outrageous statement. But look, there are rumors. And I'm also a human being. I also allude to rumors. There are rumors that there are some Indians who evade taxes, and there are some Indians who cheat Malawians. There are some Indians who actually underpay our workers. It's there. I've seen stories of people complaining about it. I wouldn't say that I can produce the evidence, but maybe if you give me time, I can go and produce the evidence. You know. But those are the things that we must protect ourselves against, because.
But one would argue to say they own most of the businesses in town, and maybe they're contributing towards the country's economy. They're here, they're investing, they've got investments here.
It's important, you know, but when they invest, why are they investing? You see, if I've got a business, okay, I've got 100% of the shares, and you want to come into my business to bring me money, I'm selling you shares in my business. It means I also want to gain something from you. But if you come and you take over my business, then there's a problem. Now, there's nothing wrong with India's investing in Malawi and making profits, but we should take, that investment should also give us a revenue. It's only a problem if you give them everything else and not for Malawians. It's why in other countries, they actually have got, they only allow, if you do business in the countries, you can only take away so much from their country, and you can only go as far as you can, but there are limits to how they do that, because you also want to protect the interests of local people. So our trade policies, our entrepreneurship policies, we need to sit down and say, fine, if people are coming to invest, how much are they bringing in? How much are they getting out? And how much are we keeping? To us, what is the benefits? Are we losing or not? That's how business works wherever you go.
Okay. This is Times Exclusive here on Times TV, and today we're talking to Pemphero Mphande, one of the individuals that has obtained an injunction against the erection of the Mahatma Gandhi statue at General Corner near Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre. Who is Pemphero Mphande? Those are some of the questions that we're asking in this program. Has he always had interest in public issues? And why is he doing this? And is it being funded by some individuals? Those are the questions that we're asking in today's edition of Times Exclusive. My name is Elvis Howahowa. The other question that people would like to get answers from you, Pemphero, is that, are you not yourself a racist?
That would, if you ask me that, that would be a very outrageous thing to say. I believe in unity. I believe in globalization. I believe in coexistence. I want us as a world to live together. Zambians and Malawians, Americans and Malawians, Argentinians and Malawians. But I also believe in sovereignty. So, forgive me if you're going to think that I'm being racist, but if I'm looking out for the interests of Malawians first, that our country as a sovereign state should be protected, and I'm being called a racist for that, then it's okay. But look, where I stay, I live in a compound with Indians. Where I stay in Mount Pleasant, we are okay. They are my friends. I've got Indian friends. I'm not saying that me being friends with them is a basis of saying that I'm not a racist. What I'm saying is, if today I come out and say I want Malawians for Malawians, that Malawians benefit, and that I'm happy to have other people come and invest in our country, live here, so long as they don't take advantage of us, and I'm being called racist for that, then it's fine. But I'm not a racist. Believe you me. Someone like me, with my principles and values, I cannot be racist because I've gone to a level where I've understood that humanity is the most important thing, and that when we live together, united, we can do so much together. It's why I even call for globalization. I'm one of the people that support globalization. That we live in a global world. I support it, but I'm against neocolonialism and imperialism because all it does is look down on black people, look down on Africans, look down on countries like us which are poor. But we've got so much to offer, and we must protect that. So I'm not racist.
Let's talk about alternative governments. Have you been impressed with the way they've reacted to this issue? What I mean by alternative governments, I mean parties that are in opposition. The MCPs, the UDFs, the People's Parties, the UTMs, etc. Have you been touched or moved by their response to this issue?
I wouldn't say I've been touched. I would have loved to see Dr. Chakwera support us. I would have loved to see South Shima support us. So far, the only leader that has spoken about this issue and in support is Professor John Chisi, because he was one of the people that talked about this issue. So kudos to him. But the others have been quiet about it. I don't know if they see this issue as being an issue of importance. And I know Juliana Lungus has been very vocal. I once talked to her on Twitter. I said, Juliana, what's your take on this issue? She was like, no, I haven't followed the issue. And I said, well, look, when you follow the issue, please come back to me and tell me what you think. She never got back to me, but the response has been very sad. It shows that maybe our leaders, in opposition, are just power hungry. They want to get into power without sorting these issues first. And I've also been disappointed by the CSOs. The CSOs are the face to jump on issues of national interest. But maybe they don't like this issue because, and I'll be frank here, maybe it's because Gandhi, most Western institutions that fund these CSOs are pro-Gandhi. Maybe they wouldn't get funding for this issue. But they've been quiet on this issue. Maybe it's an issue. It's an important issue, but they're not talking about it. Some of them have talked in person that said, oh, look, kudos to what you're doing, but they can't come out, maybe because their donors would back out. So I think we're living in a country where most people are sellouts, they're only interested in money or power and whatnot, but not fighting for the real issues. The Gandhi issue, believe you me, the statue issue is a very big issue because it's not just about a statue that you put there. It's about the history of the country. It's about the sovereignty of the country. It's so much more. Like I said, a statue has got sentimental value. When people look at it, it means that for the next 100 years, it's going to be there.
The Blantyre City Council came out when this issue came to the limelight. They're saying, well, we wrote proposals looking for funding for development projects within the city, and the Indian government responded to our proposal. Who does the Blantyre City Council, in your opinion, Pemphero, answer to?
Well, the Blantyre City Council should answer the people of Blantyre first, because they are representing the people of Blantyre. Even if you've got the mayor at Blantyre City Council, is somebody who was elected as a councillor here and became the mayor, so they answer the people of Blantyre. It's how leadership works. Even when you've got Peter Mphande as a president in government, he answers to Malawians. So if anything else, before you make a decision about Malawi, the people should be happy. And that's why we go to elections, like I said. We elect representatives that represent us. So it's why on some issues you can even go for a referendum if issues are very big, you know. But we trust our parliamentarians to come to their constituencies and do a research to find out, sit down with the chiefs. What are people saying about this statue? Are they happy about it or not? Then they should take the decision and go to Prime Minister. I think we've discovered that Malawians are not happy, or they're happy. Let's go ahead and do it. Was that done? No, it wasn't done.
So, didn't Gandhi somehow inspire some of Malawi's political freedom fighters, the John Chilembwes, the Grey Kufas, etc.? Didn't he somehow inspire them with his methods of fighting for freedom, non-violence?
Well, I'm not aware if he supported, because John Chilembwe was not an environment guy, because we know that he stole guns. Yeah. So he also had I was not very an environment. And you see, I've heard about Martin Luther King and John Chilembwe saying, oh, John Chilembwe was inspired. I mean, Martin Luther King was inspired by Gandhi, same thing as Martin Luther King. But they are human beings. And they had their own opinions, and they lived in a different era as well. You know? They're not gods. Mandela is not a god. Martin Luther King is not a god. He's a human being like you and me. So those are their opinions. And the majority of Malawians today do not feel that Gandhi inspires values of humanity, of human dignity, coexistence. He was a racist who championed the liberation of India, the people of India, by saying black people were not equals of Indians. And that history, he said it is on record. He didn't retract those words, and it's what we know today.
Would you suggest that the Mahatma Gandhi road be renamed after Malawi?
I would. And you know what? Actually, it's one of the issues that I hope we can talk about. I would. But again, I would love to address another issue here, because people are saying, you guys are coming out now, but there's already a road named Mahatma Gandhi. People are saying, Pemphero Mphande, you went to College of Medicine, it's called the Mahatma Gandhi campus. That is true. But look, when that was being renamed, I was not even born. You know, I was born in 1982. And I was very young. So today, must we keep quiet because some of the things that happened? I like using this. If a girl was raped yesterday, so we'll still find rape her again today because she was already raped. It's time to correct that today. So yes, Mahatma Gandhi was a racist person. I would suggest that the road should be renamed, and I would be happy if we did that.
Who, in your opinion, what in your opinion should be done, perhaps, to honor some of Malawi's freedom fighters? Because there is a general feeling that most of Malawi's freedom fighters are not really, really honored. You've got roads, I can name them: Scott Road, John Glenn Road. There's so many of them. Yeah. What do you want to see happening as far as this issue is concerned?
History is a very important thing. You see, the richest countries that you know in the world, they safeguard their histories. They are young people, they study their history, and they master it. Here in Malawi, up until this day, our children are still being told that Lake Malawi was discovered by Dr. David Livingstone. That is not true. There were people already living here that knew about it. If only maybe he was the first person who saw it, but not discovering it. And that history should be erased as well. So we need to invest in our history. Our history should be written to talk about people that fought for Malawi. We should talk about the John Chambers, the Otton Chiras. We should talk about the Chakwa Chanas, the Bagir Moses, the Bing we should talk about. And that history should be in the books, in the curriculum, that young people can go and study and learn about it. Then they understand what it is. And we should remove this useless history that says, Lake Malawi was discovered by so and so. And even the Gandhi issue, this history. Books have come out on record. If we're going to go and teach students about how Gandhi was an environment, let's go and teach them that he was also a racist person. The same way that we talk about Hitler as being a man who killed so many people. We talk about it in our history books. We should do the same thing with. I'm not trying to compare Gandhi to Hitler, but I'm saying history is there. Now, when we do that, and our people are being told the right history, then they understand. They can make peace with what is going on, and they can feel emotionally connected to their country. That way, we're going to raise a generation of people who are patriots and understand their history. But if we don't do that, if we skip these gaps, we're going to have people that really don't understand. And it's very sad because now we've got most Malawians, when you ask them, who's your role model? They'll mention somebody else from abroad because it's what we're being told. They don't know who their heroes are. Ask them who was Otton Chira. They will not tell you. They don't understand it. But aren't these people important? So we drive in the Massachusetts Pemphero Highway. Ask some people who's Massachusetts Pemphero Highway, young people. They don't even know it. But ask them about JFK. They will tell you because we emphasize that in our history. So if you want to reclaim Malawi's glory, I want to raise a generation of people who fight for Malawi. It must start with the history, because that's how people become emotionally connected to their country and fall in love with its roots, its people. We need to change that.
How far are you willing to take this fight? This Mahatma Gandhi statue fight. Let me be precise.
I'm willing to go as far as the Supreme Court. Because we have got a hearing on Monday, you know, on the 4th of November, where we are meeting the defendants. If the judge decides to rule against us, we'll appeal to the Supreme Court. I hope that our lawyer will still be willing to do this thing for us for free because it's been very helpful. If he doesn't, but I'm sure he will because he's very supportive. He's also a patriot. But we'll go as far as we can. And even if we go to the Supreme Court and we still lose, believe you me, our campaigns on social media, even on the ground, will still continue. And we will not stop there because, like I said, this is, in quotes, selling Malawi. And I, for one, and my friends and Malawians that love their country will not accept Malawi to be sold. So we are going to do what we can to make sure that Malawi is not sold.
The government of Malawi, or the DPP administration, to be precise, Pemphero, is still insisting on going ahead with this project. Why do you think that's the case?
I think it goes back to the inferiority complex that when we look down upon ourselves as a country, as a people, you know what they say about a poor person, you know, a beggar has got no choice. If you look at yourself as a poor person, people will treat you. But poverty is in the mind, really. It's not about what you own and what you don't have. Even Bing talked about this. Because I like talking about Bing because he was one of my role models. I was inspired by him, although he a bit went astray in his second term, but I loved him. If you believe that you are poor, people can easily come to you and they can impose things upon you. So our government looks at itself. They don't know how they're going to raise money to do and so on and so they go out and start begging. And when these people come, they say, fine, here's a beggar who's coming to beg to us. So what do we do with this beggar? I want a statue of Gandhi. Can you go and erect this statue? You know? So the people of India flew all the way from India to Malawi. And then he says, we're happy to still find this statue. And this is a man that is coming from a country that clearly said there's no place for statues of foreign leaders in India. But he was here coming to do that. Now, I don't want to say is what I know, but people might speculate. If the government is doing this, the GP government, are they benefiting something illegally? Are they being paid? Is a party being sponsored? People would ask those questions, which I'm also asking, though I don't have the evidence. But now people are wondering. And actually, look, people are asking, and these are the issues out there. If they are really being funded to do this thing for their own personal interest, then it's very sad for our country. I would like to believe that what Nico Stau said, that they really believe that Mahatma Gandhi is a man who championed the values of non-violence and whatnot, is really the reason. And they said that this was not a precondition, which is also surprising me. If it was not a precondition and the people have said, no, we don't want this statue, up to the point of getting an injunction, rising on social media, then the government would simply say, look, India, we know that you accepted to do a convention scene and do issues of projects in Malawi, but our people are not happy about this. Why don't we put this issue aside and let's just do the convention center and other businesses? But they're still insisting. So their insistence is what is raising eyebrows. And people are asking on the ground. So I hope by the love of Malawi, the love of the people, that there's nothing fishy going on, that they're really doing this because they believe that Mahatma Gandhi was that, though we honor the truth that Mahatma Gandhi was not that, and people are not happy about it. I hope that they will stop this madness, they will stop this nonsense, and our country can go back to sanity, and we can start focusing on issues that matter. Because the country is poor. We still have got drug shortages in the hospital. We still have got issues. If they want, the government of India can simply say, you know what, we want to help you solve the issue of electricity. Why fund a statue, like people are saying, a LFA statue? They can just take that money. We're contributing this money to the energy sector. Let's solve this problem. They will say, oh, fine, I think India really loves Malawi, and they want to work together with us, but no, they want a statue. They want to leave their mark on Malawi, and it's unacceptable.
Do you see this becoming an election issue?
Well, it's already an election issue. I've talked to about 3 people who are going to vote for DPP. They don't vote for it because they're very surprised by this issue. I was talking to a young person. I bumped into a young person at Kamba, the market, you know, in Blantyre yesterday. I was like, oh, Pemphero Mphande, congrats for what you did. I was like, oh, thank you so much. It's not me, it's all of us Malawians doing this. It's like, yeah, I'm supporting. You know what? I was pro DPP because I think they've been victims of so-and-so, But this issue has really surprised me, so I'll not vote for them. So look, they are losing votes. And if they're not careful, if this issue drags on, because we intend to drag it on, they're going to fare terribly in the elections, because we saw the poll that came out. I don't know if that poll is true or not, because you know how those polls they are fraudulent, but they put them slightly ahead, meaning that UTM is a small party that just began, but it has gained ground on them, and MSP is still hanging in there. And if they're not careful, they would lose the elections miserably because of issues like this. If I were them, I would just say, fine, look, it's a small issue, because they quite a small issue, and quit. But if they're not careful, they're educating themselves, and something's going to happen.
Do you think the Deputy administration, how would you rate this administration in terms of governance issues? Have they done well, or have they done poorly, in your opinion?
Well,
you are interested in public issues.
I am. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Look, and I'm not even scared to talk about it. So it's a good question that you ask me. You see, President Pia promised in his manifesto that he was going to build 5 investors. Now, how many months are we remaining with his phase term? Is it 6 months or 7 months? Not even one has been built. At least he laid a stone for the Mumbai investor. And that's just one issue. Now, do you want to call that success or failure? It's up to Malawians to judge. But for me, what I know is, if I say, look, if you vote for me, I'm going to do this, and I do it, then you can say this guy has been successful. If Malawians want to vote for DP again, it's up to them. I will not say no, because it's a democracy. They're campaigning and people can vote for it. But for me as a person, I know voting Muntima, but I will not vote for DP, because for me they have underperformed, and I wish they would have done better. Should they get another chance in the future, not in 2019, I hope they can do better than this. And I'm hoping that the new government, that will
partly because of the Indian statue thing as well.
Look, it's part of that. It's part of that, because, if they had been successful in the other 3 or 4 years doing development issues, they wouldn't be going begging for money now and having governments imposing on them. They're desperate for something to show off that they did something else towards the elections. So that's why they're doing this thing. But it won't work, because people are seeing it as something fraudulent.
Pemphero Mphande, thank you very much for coming to Times Exclusive.
Elvis, thank you so much. I hope Malawians loved watching this, and wish them all the best. And we hope that they love Malawi, and that together we fight for this country, this beautiful country that so many people are scrambling for. It's ours, so we must protect it.
Okay. As Pemphero Mphande, one of the individuals who's obtained injunction restraining the erection of a Mahatma Gandhi statue by the Indian government at General Economy, the Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre. You've been with me, Elvis Howahowa. Thanks for watching.